Hi, my name's Ivonne, and this is...
Eli Bender.
Woohoo! First question, how old were you when you started playing music?
We have a VHS home videotape of me at 2 years old running my truck along the piano keys. Like I said, that's when I started.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, and then did you start on piano?
Yeah, so...
With your fingers after?
Yeah. Eventually, I had the same piano teacher as my dad and all of his siblings. And the cello came into my life in 5th grade, and I practiced some, but the music started to open the doors of the world for me when I was getting more into high school, and that's when my grandfather gifted me my cello, and like a real cello, a real full-size cello, and the practice started accelerating.
That's awesome.
Around that
yeah.
point.
Yeah, totally. I know the feeling. Who was your biggest musical influence growing up?
I was thinking about that, and my hometown church was a big part of our community, and the director of the church was my piano teacher for a while, kind of my voice teacher. She was a strings player, and even though she wasn't a cello teacher, she just afforded me so many musical opportunities in those young developing years, as well as provided this example of just, Mrs. Ann Wood was this, powerful, amazing community member of the little hometown. That's the person that really, the more I look back, the more I appreciate the opportunities she gave me to play in all these different settings, and both in church and in our community, out in life, and on all these different instruments that I love to goof around on. And to the point of in high school when things were getting intense, I remember napping underneath her grand piano while she was teaching one of my other siblings a lesson or something. It was just so welcoming as a human being, and fostering my musicianship through all the different crazy phases of life that I went through. So
that's so cool to have somebody that's so monumental in your life, but just happens to be through music too. Yeah, that's amazing. Life-changing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And is. Still changing people's lives.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite cello player?
Right, okay, so then if I look at cello players, the person who I just keep intersecting musical circles and inspiration with is Mike Block.
He's so good, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's so sweet, too. He's such a nice guy and an amazing player.
Yeah, and he's been very, kind to me personally and encouraging, and been at a couple of different, developmental points in my life, from the Christian House Jazz Strings Academy to hosting the Mike Block String Camp in Florida, where Rachel Capon and I met, and as well as just providing this example of how to cut through wide swaths of different genres of music with musical grace and the inclusivity of community and all that.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
most interesting place that you've traveled to with your music?
Oh yeah. Well, besides Vero Beach, where I met my wife, well, it's an interesting place. It might be one of the Gulf Islands where I was playing in a dance band for a barn raising out in on one of the rural Gulf Islands, and I mean, each Gulf Island has their own unique kind of identity, and this barn was very full of identity and happy dancing people, and they had a radiator, that you might have pulled off a wall on a bonfire that then was feeding into a hot tub outside the barn. So after the band finished playing and everyone was all sweaty, then people could jump into this hot tub in the middle of this field outside of this barn because of the bonfire that had a kind of a hose running to it from somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
That's like a very Canadian. Everyone sang Barrett's Privateers, when it got to like 2:30 a.m. I remember everyone in the hot tub knew most of the words, at least certainly Critical Mass. It was like a very Canadian experience when I first came here to the West Coast.
Yeah, welcome to Canada. I don't even think I've had that experience, so that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow, well, that's definitely memorable for sure.
It is. I know it's like very different from Carnegie Hall, but it's a cultural moment
Yeah.
that will stay with me forever.
Absolutely, that's amazing. And one final question, what's your favorite dessert?
Oh, right. I guess this is kind of in line with that last story. I remember being a scout growing up in the woods, and we would have like a huge cast iron pot that weighed like a bajillion kilograms or whatever, and you'd cook potatoes in it for dinner, and then after dinner you'd put peach cobbler, super sweet, tons of, crunchy granola on the top, and you put it back in that campfire. And I'm sure that my middle school age self was an awful cook, but I just remember that after a long day of camping or doing whatever it is that the scouts do, just having that peach cobbler off the campfire that you kind of made yourself as one of maybe the first dishes that I had sort of learned to cook.
Yeah, totally.
As a kid, that's what I try to recreate in my life anytime I have a special occasion.
And have you become a better peach cobbler cook since then?
Well, it's hard to nail the ambiance. I can make a good dessert,
That's true.
but it takes a lot to go into that peach cobbler specifically. So
You just put your scout suit back on and call it a day.
yeah, I'm not sure it was the uniform that did it and the flavor. It's more just like I miss being in the woods. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can't go wrong with peach cobbler though.
Yeah.
I love me a good peach cobbler for sure. Thank you so much for playing with me. It's always fun to play together.
Oh, Ivonne, it's an honor.
Yeah, thanks for doing this interview. This is so fun.
My pleasure. Question time.
I should just have you do that as a piece.
Question time.
Done. Yay! Thanks,
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. And we're done.
Questions are all answered.